and like it's nice to have the knowledge, but not have like the whole job of doing it.
But we're the most resilient team.
Paint's turn to let the overdrive go, and it's like watching a stallion run in an open field. What are you back towards A-Link? He'll beat on you. Fine.
You know, BCJ, he's very vocal. He's our co. You know, and Motsy's our IGL. Honestly, everyone has their own role. Like, my job is to relay information and be a turret.
The series that keeps on giving, and at least one more map guaranteed, as it's going to be Shopify Rebellion Black to take the second map in the series. They're up at the half, Roy, but then M80, their attack, it almost looked unstoppable. It took a while, but Shopify Rebellion Black finally find the key and shut it down.
Yeah, an absolute tug of war between both of these teams from the get-go. Obviously, Shopify Rebellion Black having an impeccable first half. Okeanos doing his best to keep M80 in that game in the first half. But ultimately, SRB, they closed it out. Spaz waking up towards the end as well. Paint having a pop-off game. We saw just so many moments from these two teams that were just like, what is going on? What's happening? I was just losing my mind. It was just such an insane series with so many heroic plays, so much strategy, and so much depth to it. It was beautiful to watch.
Especially because, as we remember, this all started 8-4, and we were thinking, okay, is this going to be another one of those M80 comebacks after they get an 8-4, as they did yesterday? And it came really close, right? It went all the way to overtime, but in that overtime is Shopify Rebellion Black, the ones who were able to close it out. As Roy was saying, though, it's an insane map, a lot of back and forth between the two, and it was crazy to see. I mean, how many rounds on the attacking side for M80 were we seeing them come back, pivot to the B side, get that spike planted, play into that post where it was a 1v2, a 1v1 in so many scenarios. I mean, it was incredibly close between these two. And I like it because the grand finals is building up to exactly what we expected, right? A match to be this close.
Exactly. When I see these two teams and I think of these two teams, of course, I thought Shopify Rebellion Black had the upper hand going into the series, considering how their previous encounters have gone. But for it to be this close with only 2 maps already, getting a double overtime and a lot of heroics too. We got to see really a lot of individual step-ups. That Sato 3K was a huge one right there. Moxie with the 4K just in time in that second OT to make sure that M80 could be suppressed. It was just beautiful through and through, Roy. And I think too, just a testament that this could be a series that goes all the way.
Yeah, I think it's shaping up to be that for sure. But yeah, look at the stats right here. 16 first kills for the SRB side. Paint really leading the charge. We're probably going to see that in the next graphic as well. He had 9 first bloods under his belt. That's just individually. That is insane from the SRB side, from Paint as well. And of course, there's just so many layers of just the strategy, of the timings. They have such a good read on each other. It really felt like a chess game throughout, from the beginning all the way until the end.
And I mean, I'm just jaw dropped down. I'm trying to find words. Like, I know it ended up being a loss, but Oki's performance on that map was just, oh my goodness. And to see him hit the 30 and then them not quite be able to close out, like, that hurts the soul a little bit. But again, a testament to the fight that M80 was really able to put up here. And again, then the kudos for Shopify Rebellion Black to shut them right down.
Okeanos was doing everything, and it was so consistent from the beginning of the map. This is what we were seeing from the Fade, constantly closing out those rounds, opening up those rounds as well in some scenarios. I mean, he was really doing it all. Some info as well early on for the team, but unfortunately for M80 and for Okeanos, it's just not enough to get those 30 kills because Shopify Rebellion Black, they had the advantage towards the beginning. It took a little bit to get the grip on how they wanted to play in those defense, and they wanted to play these retakes. So once they got it, it was just a matter of time. And yeah, it's cool because now we see them getting away with each other's map pick, and now we go into a map of Haven where things are more even.
Yeah, we're seeing the reverse map pick steal to kick off the series, guys. That is so crazy. That's so crazy.
Makes it fun, makes it entertaining, make sure we're always on our toes over here. My thought, looking at the player performances, the reason we don't get to see someone from SRB be able to break through that 30 kills is because we got to see a lot of big step-up performances. And I want to talk a little bit more about Paint and Spaz, because Spaz was somebody that in the earlier little bits of the match was, I mean, you know, some of the shots, sometimes they don't be hitting, you know, it's like that. And then really was just able to go with a match class performance to make sure, Roy, that it was completely forgotten. Paint, I mean, it's just, yeah, yet again, Paint, you're awesome. Keep doing you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Paint's playing exactly to how we were expecting, right? We've been highlighting him as one of the best duelists, if not the best duelist. Statistically, he is the best. He's proving in this series why he is. He's an absolute monster. He knows how to find his picks. He's versatile on a lot of the different duelists. And of course, Spaz had to step up after he heard Lemon Kiwi telling him to lock in on the cast. So as soon as he heard that, things changed immediately for Spaz. He actually sat up at least 5 degrees, and ever since then, he started popping off. So shout out to him, having a great second map here for both of these players, and of course the SRB as well. So much dynamic play, so much mid-rounding coming out from that team. Exactly what we expect from them. I think this third map is going to be an absolute banger.
To be fair, if Lemon Kiwi tells me to lock in, I'm sitting up all the way in my chair. I'm chugging some water. Like, it's going to be like nothing y'all have ever seen before. That is for certain. But I'm so glad we got to see both of these teams lock in, deliver a 2 overtime series, and now another new map ahead. We're guaranteed at least 4 in the set, but now we're going to be looking at Haven at this next. And we were talking about, hey, they're stealing each other's map picks. This one, I think, though, is especially interesting because Haven and Fracture were the two where Shopify Rebellion Black decimated and tore M80 apart. And already M80 writing a different story on that first map of Fracture, Dan. So then Haven, what's in store there?
That's what we were talking about. And for those who missed it, that map of Fracture, last time these two teams played it, it was a Shopify Rebellion win on Fracture with a 13-1 and a map of Haven with a 13-2. It was a 2-0 for Shopify Rebellion Black, and they moved forward in the lower bracket or in the upper bracket. But now we're seeing something different because you're seeing this 13-6 for M80. They look insane on Fracture, and now as we approach Haven, it's one of my favorite maps to see for both of these teams, actually. They've been showing a lot of really cool ideas. This is where we're seeing Sato on the Neon, something that we haven't gotten the chance to see just yet today. And it should be a lot closer than that 13-2. Now, I learned my lesson after seeing Fracture.
Guys, I have some bad news.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I am jumping ship once more. I've seen all I needed to see. The resilience coming out from SRB. I'm back on the train. Shopify Rebellion.
Here.
Let's go, production.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Chat, light him up right now. This is unreal.
I thought we were just not going to allow him to make predictions anymore. What happened?
Production's too nice. Production's too nice.
Yeah, let's just say production and I have an agreement now.
Oh, I see how it is. That's crazy.
Dan, you got to bring out the Spanish. You got them to take that. You got to make them take that prediction back away.
Producción, él no tiene derecho. No tiene derecho. Quítale la predicción.
They're perfect.
Hey,
perfect. Thank you, Dan, for your service here.
No problem.
I mean, hey, in a series is back and forth. Is this?
What?
Amazing. Oh, let's go. Dan's the goat. Dan's the goat. Roy stocks are not crazy. Going up. But hey, I'm going to blame you for changing the prediction because that is unacceptable. But I don't blame you for just not knowing what is going on in the series and how this can go because it is literally anyone's game, and it's just been so fun to watch. So let's head into the agent select now for this map of Haven. Again, M80 torn apart the last time they faced Shopify Rebellion Black here, but we have seen them on there since. They're running back the same comp then, and it was a win over Winthrop University, so they definitely have a lot of fight to give here.
This is an interesting one. We just talked about the Neon. We talked about how we've seen the Neon before when they played it, and it was at 13-2 going the way to Shopify Rebellion Black. And only those 2 rounds for M80, but we've seen the improvement. We talked about how consistent this team has been at growing as a team, at fixing those mistakes, and we see it day after day. I mean, think about it. M80 have had to play the past 4 days back to back to back, and yet they continue to grow. So I wouldn't see why this map should be as one-sided as it was the first time that they played it.
Yeah, and if you're M80, I feel like you were expecting these 2 maps to be played very early on in the series, and it's probably why M80 looks so prepped on this map, and probably they're going to be equally as prepped going into Haven as well. But I want to point out the difference in initiators here, the info initiator specifically, the Sova on M80 versus the Tejo on the Shopify Rebellion Black. That is a little bit different, right? Because the Sova can deal with the Cypher gadget so much better than the Tejo can. So I feel like the Neon setup for Sato, he should have a much easier time getting on sites and not be so afraid to make space for his team or just dive on these sites, get those opening kills, and hopefully set up M80 for some success here.
Last time we saw M80 on this map too, if we're talking about individual player performances, Bao dropped 36, going 36 and 22 on this map. So I'm definitely expecting a lot of great things from Bao and M80 as they look to try and get revenge against Shopify Rebellion Black. And what happened last time? It's time to head to Haven and back over to your casters for the third time. It's Jen and Mark.
Thanks so much, Sierra. Our series is all tied up in this grand final, and you cannot underestimate the changes that M80 have brought. Well, maybe the change we care about is that they don't close out overtimes, and that's why SRB are here.
You're 100% correct. And honestly, like, that is a little bit of a tilter if you are M80, just because, you know, that was completely going your way. That should have by all means been a 2-0. And yet somehow you just drop the ball in overtime after a strenuous match. But we've seen these guys, like the Dusk has been saying, they've been playing so much Valorant every single day in order to fight for their position here. So you know they've got the mental resiliency built up into it. And I do want to hyper-focus in on that Sova pick for a second, because Roy brings up a lot of excellent points with the utility being a really good job at foiling some of that Cypher stuff, but at the same time too, allows for better information. And when we've seen Sato play these duelist roles, it tends to be just kind of a send it, go in, and unfortunately get punished. I think the Sova could really set Sato up for a little bit more success.
Yeah, they've already dealt with some of the utils. Shot down a camera. I'm not sure if there was a trip in main, but there was a trip in garage, and it was all a fake. M80 did so much noise at C, and look, these rotations as SRB try to keep up. It's the lurk from Bao that looks for the first blood, but Tejo drone was kind of creeping him out. M80 are all stacked on the A side, and, well, Sato just gets caught racing right into the loving arms of SRB that were stacked. M80 went way too far. I thought it was going to be a B hit, and they tried to wrap around, and maybe that would have made sense if they had more kills.
Yeah, it just felt a little bit interesting there. It felt like the game plan from Sato was just dive in, duck underneath, and then the rest of the gang can kind of get those kills there. Unfortunately for M80, Shopify Rebellion Black are the ones who come out on top of some of those pistol duels. And so we're seeing the Neon get utilized quite a bit here in just going through, just really sliding towards the legs of the Omen as the Omen's just desperately hopping out of the way, trying to survive that. But all things considered, a good round for Shopify, starting things out on the right foot. And M80, they're only down 2 pistols on this next round.
They haven't shot this outlaw yet. M80 don't know. Pepe laugh. Well, with the owl drone, maybe. No. M80 are still walking into it. And what a flick. What a snipe. There's Okeano's catching hands too. And he's got cages. He's got help. And M80 try to scatter away from the outlaw. And it's the Guardian that emerges too. But wait, Caillou and B-Dog got trades. But SRB have the numbers. And it's Bao with the 1v3. M80 just haven't gotten a plant down yet. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, they just kind of send it that time, and you can tell that Shopify Rebellion Black, they're super comfortable playing off of one another. They're ready for the trades, they're ready for the shenanigans that this M80 squad might be pulling through, and they just simply hold their ground and play effectively off of one another to make sure that nothing goes unpunished. Paint looking so good with the Outlaw in hand. Of course, Monty in the back line with Spaz. It all just feels really well accounted for. And so, great job coming in from Shopify. Now M80 are the ones who have those rifles in hands. It is going to be that bonus from Shopify Rebellion here. A good hit from Paint, but not enough to get through that full shield buy.
Well, these smokes hurting M80 to get a punish. I wouldn't be messing with C either. It's kind of how that went. See if M80 can have a decisive hit on the site without overcooking, overextending, and oh my god. How's Monty still standing? Fake teleport? Pros don't fake. Right? And just SRB not gonna peek. They just kind of wait for noise and wanted to maybe flash up with Monty, but SRB playing really safe. And I could say the same about Spaz just walking out mid-court. but that's good info and something that M80 had to re-clear going through garage. No one waiting at the window for SRB. There are some trips, and in the cages, this is gonna be tricky for Sato, and Paint will catch him as M80 flood in, try to find each other, try to find the site, and they've taken it over.
And it's immediate flood in coming through from Shopify Rebellion, not yielding just quite yet.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, Caillou. Good coordination, the wrap around both sides of that middle box, and look, M80 can attack. And usually that's their cleaner side in terms of protocols, but this is more of a stable look.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's so funny to be watching Sato walk up and then immediately just hits the brakes. Uh-oh, we're walking into a Cypher right now. I did not enjoy this at all on Lotus, so maybe I don't go in right away. And then you can see the rest of the team comes through, and there's a little bit more coordination to try and flush this Cypher out. So I like that just little pause in moment. Make sure that these set executes can really happen, because I think Sato's gonna get punished a lot less as long as the rest of M80 set themselves up to be responsible to make sure that that Neon can get some kills.
I don't know about responsible. Pain is up to trouble. And Caillou makes sure that he cannot get back to his friends to tell them all the fun stories. So SRB will have Monsi with flashes that can help support this other initiator. And BCJ holds on to the drone, not sure how M80 are committed. There's some presence in sewers. SRB are so passive, they're so far back, and that's what the style that M80 hated to play against when they went up against Winthrop.
Yeah, and you can tell you're just not a fan of what's kind of going on here. Immediately after flushing a lot of that utility out, they smartly back up, and now they set themselves up for this re-engage. Not a ton of tools, but keep in mind, Caillou still does have that fault line and should be able to at least find somebody. Pancakes, though, is going to be the one to slow this down.
Fault line doesn't hit, and a flash does, but Oki trades. And he's not done yet. He's on a rampage. Guts a third, and it's just Spaz, and Oki's on the hunt. He knows how to clutch up in the best of ways for M80.
Yeah, Okeanos getting a 4K there. I know the camera was fixated on Pancakes. As you can tell, as soon as M80 flood in there, Shopify Rebellion had a protocol down and ready. The flashes came out extremely coordinated, but they weren't counting on Okeanos to be able to find a couple of kills right out the gate. Swinging through, finds two. That was unbelievable there. And then scoops up Pancakes as well, leaves Spaz for the very end, and that is going to be a decisive M80 round. Okeanos making sure that the squad is still very much alive in this map.
The save, at least the orb grab to get BCJ the Armageddon, and Paint inserted at a different angle this time, not going through sewers, wanting to take full advantage of the Bucky. As M80 don't even bother, they use the paranoia, the teleport, aftershock to get all the way into C, but they haven't smoked off the top of sight. So okay, the cages do come up for Bao, and they went away from the neural theft, and they do get a kill trip somehow on Monsi, or maybe just a spray through the smoke, I guess, and SRB left garage open, which was an unnecessary drop, but they can only do so much with the weapons they have, but they didn't manage to take care of, or take a Vandal from that M80 aggressor, and now M80 just have to line it up and knock him down.
It really feels like Shopify Rebellion have to do so much, and then M80 just pop themselves out and are able to find a couple of kills here, a couple of kills there. And there's nobody left for Shopify Rebellion. Given that was not the best weaponry coming in from them, it still looks really easy for M80. And now on both of these sides, 3 ultimates available of very differing capacities here, but I have to give the advantage over to M80. I think that the ultimates they've got coming into this next one are a little bit more effective at being able to clear out some of the stickiness, because you can tell M80 very fast at getting the spike down. Shopify Rebellion really like to take their time, make sure all of their ducks are in a row before they decide to go in through, and a lot being used right off the rip.
Yeah, holy cow, the M80 Rolling Thunder for Garage, the defensive Armageddon for into B for SRB. What the hell? And M80 are just stuck between a rock and a hard place. They're gonna find themselves in the bad place. But They drop the spike, and the double swing is so beautiful from SRB. And they cut the win streak down from M80.
Yeah, that was just a pure execution coming in from Shopify Rebellion. As soon as they hear what is going on, they are ready to counter it with their own, what do you call it? They get ready to use their own ultimates just to make sure that everything is taken care of and everything is nice and easy for the rest of the squad to be able to move in there and find their decisive kills. So good job from Shopify Rebellion. That was one of those rounds that, yeah, you used a lot of ultimates, but it definitely is worth it to make sure that you are stabilizing your own economy while making sure that M80 are going to have a little bit of a tougher time moving into this next round to buy.
Yeah, I think M80 got to activate a lurk, and it's kind of tough when the Armageddon from the defense funneled you into just such a narrow passageway. SRB, just their counter reads, their counter pressure is what was able to help them claw their way back into the previous map. Okeanos did drop a Vandal there too, which gave a leg up to SRB, but ultimately in that save, SRB couldn't really do much on the retake with just Sheriffs and Ghosts.
And to be fair, we've seen some crazy things happen with Sheriffs and Ghosts, but nothing too out the rip yet in this matchup between these two squads. And I do want to talk more about Okeanos because we talked a lot about the utility that Sova offers, but just being a highlight player, going in there and just lining up, getting honestly the clips together for some sort of montage after this one, because Okeanos has been so clutch at winning out a lot of these fights for M80. And if he continues to do that, that is going to be very difficult for Shopify Rebellion to kind of contest. You can tell that they're playing a little bit more carefully, making sure that Oki is not just walking away with murder, but still it feels like it needs to be collapsed upon just a little bit more, because if they can get Okeanos under control, then I think this map really opens up for Shopify Rebellion.
So far, SRB have done a good job of map control and keeping M80 under control. Sato just has to be really careful of, well, when you just eat the barrel like that, nothing you can do, but just the trips that have been set up for him. Oh, it's just an obstacle course. You kind of expect that every cage is going to have a trip in it. It's tough. Pancakes has been having a lot more time on the Cypher compared to Bao. And less priority on the Vice there for Pancakes, but it also proves that he's so adaptive at shifting the trips, because he's gonna have his primary job is gonna be to deal with that Neon.
Yeah, and honestly, like, you can tell that there's a little bit of fear instilled in Sato. Any single time that there's going to be the potential of a Cypher being on that site, there has to be just a little bit more care being paid to make sure that everything is going to be fine. So Sato has really been kept under control, which is that kind of like X factor that honestly M80 have relied on in the past. However, Sato has been a little bit more quiet this series, and really the biggest solution for that is Pancakes doing a fantastic job playing various Sentinel agents and having a good variety of setups, making sure that it's always M80 guessing what is potentially going on, which is so much more difficult for that Neon to just fly in and get those highlight kills. We saw Sato have one of those moments on Lotus where he just kind of flew in there and was able to find a multi-kill, but it becomes so much more difficult when you're flying into Cypher traps, when you're flying into cyber cages. Sato hasn't simply been offered those opportunities, and that's why we're seeing Sato have a much more slower performance this time around.
I think something happened to our lobby, folks. We're facing a technical issue, so we're going to give you some music to listen to instead of the Valorant yapping. So we'll see you after.
wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.
We got to the point where we could control the laws of nature by guise of electronics.
Então, fuga, vai! Então, fuga, vai! Então, fuga, vai! Não tenta bater de frente, sabe que lá tá fazendo macete. Desce até o chão, ela tá doida pra colar com a gente. Fazendo macete. Ela tá doida pra colar com a gente.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. As of right now, a little update for you all. There ended up being some issues with the previous lobby, so a new one has been started, which means the admin and everyone else have to re-go to the previous board state with the 3-3. So they're getting that all fixed up so we can resume where we were. We'll be just a few more minutes more. Thank you all for waiting.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We are so back. We're still 1-1 series, a 3-3 scoreline. SRB with the pistol. But Marks, I'm ready to get the energy back up in here.
You know, I got a good stretch in, I got some food in me, and yeah, let's bring back the energy because these two teams have been going up against neck and neck against one another. And well, like you said, tied 3-3, one map each. A lot of ultimates available though for Shopify Rebellion. Just hopping right back into things, we're already seeing Sato gain so much space in this A-long area. Spike over there, but M80, we know they like to play it slow.
Like this map control from M80 too, because having B-Dog get some help. They want to think about Garage, or they want to see if anyone's peeking out B early. M80, just that pick alone could be what inspires them to make their next move. Now also not allowing SRB to go on any flanks based on where Bao's trips are have been good, and that opening pick could also let Bao get neural theft. But M80 have to pull the trip in Monty. Peekaboo, fault line, not gonna get the catch on Sato.
Yeah, honestly, just good awareness. As soon as Sato gets spotted out there, just backs out completely. Knows that there's too much utility that could potentially stun it out. Aftershock gets utilized, as well as the fast lane, but it's all just a clever ruse, as once again, they're going to be playing off of Bao's presence.
More trips being taken out. Like that, M80 are slowly scaling up the map. Sometimes they overcook, but this as a team, Sato just runs into the gunfire.
Oh,
but
no.
Spaz gets 2 before going down, and that's dwindling M80's chances of starting off post-pause on a good foot. Neural theft from Bao, knowing where this retake is coming from, and it's from Garage, and it's Paint that carves through the forces. He only gets 1, but that's enough to take care of what's left of M80.
Yeah, an excellent round coming in from Shopify. We talked about how good they are when they do play that retake. We saw a little bit of that being flexed here, but more importantly, it was just a little bit of a forced error from M80. They didn't check that corner. Spaz gets way too much value there. Should not have been able to be kept alive, and honestly just finding 2 kills to really just slow down the M80 wave. Even gets flashed out as well, but it felt like more of a formality than really doing what they needed to do to clear that spot out. So just a good round coming in from Shopify Rebellion, and right now they're definitely looking like a bit more of the dominant sided team, as once again most of the M80 rounds were just taken right at the beginning.
And neural theft for Overdrive. Decent trade. The early peek from Paint. The stun from Sato. He goes for the 3rd and walks away with 2. As SRB have to face where this teleport could be coming from. M80 getting info. Sent the spike to see. The trips haven't been triggered. They're set up for flanks. And it's B-Dog with another opener. And SRB don't have a chance to really come back with just the 2 flashes. They have plenty of money though. They'll have to confront M80 on the flank, but the trips reveal that, so I guess SRB will save.
Yeah, at this point, you just keep those rifles in your paws. A great job using Sato to just kind of run in there and cause a lot of chaos. You could tell immediately, like Sato finding a couple of kills, the reinforcements from SRB have to get invested back there, which allows for the flood through completely perfectly executed by M80, and then at that point, the round is just simply over. So a good understanding coming in from M80, utilizing Sato, especially too with that explosive firepower to cause such a ruckus outside that A site and run that distraction. The question though will remain, if Shopify Rebellion are starting to expect this Neon to be that aggro, be that aggressive, once again, if they put Sato back into that box, make sure that Sato can't get set up for moments of success like this, a lot of the rest of the M80 plan really just starts to crumble. So I'm expecting to see SRB really just try and clinch down on that single Neon player.
It's going to be between Paint and Sato, where Paint has shown a lot more hours, matches on this agent, but Sato has been so versatile in the past. Speed Demon forward. Sato, the overdrive, slips past Paint. Even with the stun, Paint wins that. That's why he's the GOAT. But a 3 push from M80 starts to take over sewers as Oki takes the helm. Can't even drone out. The pace that SRB would have played at is overwhelming.
So smart.
But Bao gets the edge. 2-on-1.
And now they're going to be able to get the spike down nice and easy. Keep in mind that the paranoia didn't get extended there, so they're only going to have to play off of these smokes. Meanwhile, Pancakes does have the neural theft available if he wants to take this fight. Plenty of bodies to use along the way here, but in a bit of a dangerous situation in this 1v2.
No util on the post plant, so Pancakes has a real chance. He's on the flank. And the neural theft will be invested in Bao and B-Dog. They've been the ultimate duo. Both pings. And he's got to address this one by one. Catches B-Dog reloading. But Bao had us going. Oh my god. M80 have a lead.
Yeah, M80 pull themselves right back into it. Pancakes going with the ultimate just at the end there too. It was a little bit tough, especially too knowing you're going up against Bao, and B-Dog hasn't had as spectacular of a game compared to yesterday, but is still doing an amazing job. And so right now, M80, they're right back into it. When these little moments are happening here, it looks like they're just coming out in these little micro plays a bit more aggressively, a bit more coordinated, and it's making all of the distance to make sure they are winning out the fights against their respective SRB players. Already, a lot of util dump going to be outside of A. I imagine we're going to be seeing that almost every single round from both of these teams, as M80, their attack pressure always begins at A and can end at any of these different sites.
Yeah, the salvos to try and slow down M80 are smart from BCJ to not be at the front door, but the back door of that A lobby. Forces M80, even if they slip by the first door, they definitely will be stopped. And SRB just jump peek that box. As these are Moxie or BCJ.
Oh.
And what a not play. This Paint catches the lurk from Bao in mid.
Down. Oh, the stealth drone doesn't spot out what is going on, so they only know that Sato's here, but the rest of the members too can spell disaster.
Oh my god, just a few more inches and Sato would have been dead. Moxie is fault lined, but there was a response from SRB. Stalemate. As M80 retake for the perfect moment. How does that miss from Paint? He still has the op, and he gets the last laugh. M80 with real estate. Paranoia, though, hits M80. What a play from Spaz. SRB stabilize.
And Shopify just had the read on M80 that round. They knew exactly how they wanted to play it, understood that that A site was their most preferred site of attack. And so they just kind of hang out, make sure that they've got all their stall utility for as soon as they hear the neon slip through, they are ready to pounce on them, punish them for that aggression, and make sure to capitalize. Pain as well, sure, missed the first shot, but makes up for it with the second. And that is more than enough to make sure that the rest of the Shopify Rebellion squad can stop M80 from even getting in and getting the spike down. We talked previously before the extremely long break, how it was so good for M80 to just kind of like run in onto the site. As soon as they get that spike down, things are looking pretty good for them. They're willing to play aggressively, set themselves up, play effectively, but if Shopify do a really good job at not even allowing them to get the spike planted on any of these sites, then they're looking a lot more dominant. So that feels like another just key to success that Shopify Rebellion have to keep in mind if they want to win out this third map. Sorry.
Yeah, M80 are trying to pick up the pace sometimes, but SRB, they either play fast or just molasses slow, just like playing at the very back of A to just pushing Okeanos like you saw in the replay. He couldn't even use his drone. Like SRB changed it up, and I heard you guys, I heard chat likes pauses, so M80 gave you guys another just to think through these last two rounds.
We all like a nice little pause to catch our breath, right?
Oh, it's a fault line this time. No salvos quite yet from BCJ. Bit of an adjustment for SRB. Pain caught Bao too last time.
Yeah, very slow and quiet. And this is the style that M80 are very comfortable playing off of. The last couple of times we saw them, they spread themselves out just thinly enough to be able to find 1 or 2 kills, and then it's full send onto the site. Sato getting very aggressive on Spaz.
Oh, Spaz gets the win though, and Paint was so tunneled earlier too with the op. And it's kind of out in the open somewhere that Moxie can't easily pick up. And he needs to play his life with the Rolling Thunder. That's going to be the ultimate retake tool. The real question is, can M80 actually get on a site? That's been the real struggle. I feel like we haven't seen as many plants as we're used to with M80. Neural theft. There goes the frisbee, and Monty's at the back, forced to use the rolling thunder to just maybe keep himself safe and buy time. As PCJ at his side on the off angle, as M80 got pings, they salvo out that Tejo. M80 advanced towards B with the paranoia that maybe clipped Monty, and the Hunter's Fury from behind from Okeanos to support the site. Still need to get a safe plant, and SRB re-engage with the paranoia, and Spaz will get his one. And SRB are wrapping two through B main, possibly with that garage push from Pancakes. Plant goes through nonetheless. Spaz and Pancakes are pretty split.
One enemy remaining.
Hey, it's winnable. I think Spaz looked like he wanted to save, and Pancakes did give them hope. And his B-Dog has to watch two entryways. Spaz has his own smoke there. Oh, when he catches B-Dog, hesitates. It's the execute. It's the 1v1. He's needing to buy time, and Spaz has come alive. And SRB are back in the driver's seat.
And it was just so labored for M80 to try and claim that B site. Honestly, Shopify did a fantastic job at making it that much more difficult for M80 to even get that spike down. And they whittle them down until they're just down to 2 members left, and so much time has expended, they don't feel comfortable enough to properly go in for that retake. Look at this. The Shopify members are so ready to just pounce on any inch that M80 give to them. And it honestly just came down to that final thing. Obviously, we get to see Spaz with the crazy just wraparound, but doesn't quite link up with Pancakes. It all works out well, though, for Shopify in the end. 6-5, last round in the half. Shopify Rebellion are looking to make this a 7-5, but here comes the flood through with not the best weaponry from M80.
Pancakes with a trip and the smoke and the cameras. And the M80 were just grabbing the orb, because now Rolling Thunder and an Omen teleport. But it's the Pancakes up on A long that worries me, as M80 have really liked getting on that site because their post plants are strong. Drone. I like that M80 scale up. They take their time and fully utilize the kit of this Sova. Oh, Paint gets clipped. Has to be careful.
Oh, Armageddon coming in too. That is going to just force all of the members of M80 to rethink their strategy there, and they haven't gotten any more space on the map, so they're just going to have to do this one nice and dirty. Spaz and Pancakes on the other side.
Important job for Pancakes. He does get hit by the Rolling Thunder and absolutely clapped. And Spaz was hit by that too and jumps and still gets a kill. But I don't know if that really matters. I think M80 are pretty stoked that they don't have to worry about that Armageddon that was used at the 40-second mark. M80 have taken away a lot of tools, and it's just Paint. He's lurking on the site, locks into Bow, slips past the fault line, and Caillou locks in. 6-6 half.
Yeah, great understanding of what the potential protocol was going to be from Shopify Rebellion. They knew, M80 knew that Armageddon was on the board. They knew that at this point, Shopify are really expecting us to go onto this A site. And so you see that level of hesitation where they might use an Armageddon here. We don't want to get stuck into this crunch. And thankfully, Sato is the only one who is there. And that Neon can get the heck out when necessary. Off of a single Rolling Thunder, M80 take the site by storm. And everything that Shopify were trying to put together to stop M80 to go just gets completely just ransacked. And it's an easy round for M80 to win. So 6-6 now in this half. Things are swapping around. And M80, they preferred to be attacking, and unfortunately we're only able to get 6 rounds, while Shopify, their preferred side, is also attack, and now they're going to be the ones to try and dismantle this M80 defense.
And it's going to be which Neon gets really activated on that offense. The speed, Paint gets tagged, and it's not enough information for the Cypher of Bow to really capitalize on. He did bring Paint down to 21 HP, but that was enough suppressing fire to get the spike down. Wrapping around, though, is M80 on the flank. Pancakes had his tripwire. triggered, so he's gonna call for BCJ to drone out, see how close they are. He's gonna realize they're not there. The action is all in garage, and SRB converge, and there's also paranoia coming through the top site. M80 are attacking at all angles, but it's SRB with the better shot. Top site is still a threat. 3 versus 3. SRB pushed to the perimeter of the site, and it's so back and forth. And Caillou is clutching up, and it's just Bao versus BCJ with the spike ticking down as well. SRB with back-to-back pistols.
It felt like for a second there, Shopify got a little bit tunnel vision-y, especially on Garage, which allowed M80 actually to have a pretty successful site retake, which really made that go down to the wire. The fact that Shopify invested so many of their members to go into Garage while M80 just kind of chilled and went in from the back was fantastic to make sure that M80 had a real shot of getting that defuse online. But thankfully, BCJ just went hiking for the hills, stayed alive throughout all of it. The salvos online to make sure that they can't get that defuse, and it just worked out perfectly. So a little bit of a close round, but once again, this is the finals, so you would expect this to be as close as it gets as Shopify pick up that second pistol.
Good lurk from SRB. Pancakes, he doesn't just protect, he also attack. It's just one of the best sentinel fraggers we could have, so criminally underrated in Challengers, and now he gets to show off in the grand final against Bao in the opposition, who's playing safe in Garage. And SRB, who haven't been able to lock eyes on Sato. No early peeks from the B side either. M80 work at control towards the right side, and that's first blood for Monsi. The rifles too at range, that's what SRB depended on. And when it rains, it pours, and with the smokes in place, SRB have all their bases covered. It's M80 that would have to flank or do something crazy, and they're just gonna stick to dying to the spike.
Keep it nice and simple, and you can tell that M80 really were just in more of their exploratory phase of the map on that defense there. They had no real idea what was going on, not too sure what was happening, trying to play off of a couple of contact plays, get a bit more information, and Shopify are just ready to punish them. As soon as they spot someone out, immediate kill to the Shopify side, and it just works out perfectly for them. So M80 are going to lose this one. We're going to see them go down to the spike here. But next round, they're going to have their rifles. And let's see how they want to try and reinforce some of these defenses, because so far, this is still looking like Shopify might be able to run away with this map.
See how much depth that SRB can show us from a C side hit to B side. And we haven't seen how they'll try and infiltrate with A and with the Tejo over the Sova. Roy had said that thinks the Sova deals with the Cypher util better. How does BCJ try to zone out these power positions on the map with the salvos? Get early info with the drones. Even the spike behind, SRB gonna default normally and scent paint and a bit of a sprint. Recon down, but that's quite a few shots hitting that that recon too. So Okeanos is just gonna wait to see what SRB do.
Oh, Sato. Yeah, in such an excellent position there. Punishes Monsi. Thankfully not the spike, but that is some of the pressure alleviated. They're going in through the garage now.
Good spot. Tail all the way at the backside too, and we'll ping out the breach. SRB getting aggressive, but holding his own is Bao, and it's just BCJ. SRB really went for something different, trying to push through the defender's spawn. Gonna take away some of these rifles. And the bonus on the line there with not a good chance of succeeding in a 1v3. Just waits to see. Knows that they're close. Taps the spike. Gets the attention.
Oh, no.
And it's the awkward timing there. M80 denied their bonus.
Yeah, Valorant timing strikes again. As soon as BCJ decides to actually tap that 4 button, spot someone out immediately. And I talked about the exploratory defense that we're seeing M80 do. That time around, it works perfectly. They're able to navigate through all of the little rifts that the Shopify offense has, and they gain so much control of the map and can find some of these timings just like this. And B-Dog as well, just watching them come out of garage and just finding all the kills necessary, it just felt like M80 were in the right positions to really just capitalize on some of the confusion going on from the Shopify Rebellion attack.
SRB back to just the slow default. Even though there's a forward smoke from M80, that hasn't stopped SRB from scaling up through A long. No Sewer's vision though. Drone from M80 to slowly get Sato in position. SRB have to find where these trips are too, which have shifted towards the garage window to a split, sort of a split trip to get paint. If he were to just sprint on through. How deep inserted Bao is. He's okay to let the site go, but now he has to be on the flank to stop this, and our SRB is gonna check that. The smoke's in place. Bao just gets concussed, and he manages to catch paint nonetheless and get the double kill. What an impact player. But SRB found the trades to equalize the numbers and have gone past the site. They will not be passive. Sato on the flank. Caillou right there with a flash too, and an aftershock and a box to use it with as SRB want to cut him off before the setup. Man, these neons have been stifled, but Caillou just can't line up the multi-kill. And it's SRB that continue on.
Unreal stuff coming out from Bao. I mean, we've highlighted this Cypher player so much, but there was a real shot that M80 were going to be able to win that round just because Bao somehow gets 2 kills in the midst of all of that utility there. And this is another pain point that I think we have to really think about, because Sato looks amazing when it comes to the Raze play, but this Neon still doesn't feel very figured out. And to me, obviously, we've talked about how M80 are continuing to grow every single match that they play. Every single time, they're getting a little bit stronger. It feels more cohesive. The util combinations are looking just a little bit better. But still, Sato's duelist, specifically on that Neon, isn't meshing very well with the rest of the team. The strategy so far has been, hey, let's just rely on Sato to find a couple of kills, and then we can kind of go off there. But that is a very rare occasion, just simply because it's a bit more disjointed and not as supported by the rest of the M80 squad, and thus it defaults back to the rest of the squad having to kind of pick up the slack. This Neon really hasn't gotten that active and has been actively shut down by Shopify Rebellion, and they're doing a fantastic job of keeping Sato in check, leading to this 9-7 scoreline on this map.
M80 have used both their timeouts, and the first one was just to try and secure the last 2 rounds of the first half, to just trying to stop the momentum of SRB, who are 3-1 in the second half. It's the Armageddon setup from BCJ. How early do you want to see this in the round? To just try to get the A site for free? Or do you want to try it on the post plant? Need information to work off of. You heard that Neon as SRB has the better weaponry. The fault line, Sato hopes to speed off, and it's the Armageddon hosing down A long, but that Neon slipped away.
It just felt like a bit of weird positioning coming in from the Armageddon. If it was spaced out just a little bit further, that could have really forced Sato's hand to move into you instead. So unfortunately, just kind of misses the mark on that one, and that Armageddon gets almost no value. A great job from M80, though, to make sure that they bait that thing out so that it's not another thing to worry about. I want to point your attention, though, to where Bao is hanging out. Very deep outside of C, so they at least know that it is going to be this B side, and I'm imagining we're going to see a little bit of a Cypher duel on the southern part of this map.
Yeah, and when B-Dog wants to use his paranoia, he's been lurking in the shadows, waits for Sato to be ready, and the pistols emerge, and Spaz closes the door, but the sheriffs ring true, and M80 have the advantage. Playing from main, though, is SRB, watching over their spike. No, just Bao with the utility wanted to cage up somehow, and Pancakes denies the tap on the spike. Bao's on the flank, and SRB have to keep him in check, and Motzi watches the front. SRB coordinates so well under pressure to go up to 10.
And just good understanding of your weapon advantage coming in from Shopify. Listen, we've seen M80 do some disgusting things with those sheriffs in hands, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was strapped in ready to see them somehow turn that Thrifty round around. And yet still, Shopify Rebellion making sure they are doubled up, watching long angles, and most importantly, Pancakes is watching the flank against Bao. The fact that Bao was not able to get active in that specific scenario meant that a lot of that flank pressure just immediately evaporates, and Shopify can sit nice and pretty. Now 3 rounds away from getting their second map. It's an early fault line here as Paint is just kind of sending it.
Oh, the Neon concuss hits M80, but they trade well. But losing your breach, losing Caillou had Rolling Thunder. Speaking of that, comes from the offense. Monsi bulldozes through M80. B-Dog had nowhere to run. Okeanos has no support. And this round is already cooked. Sada wants to keep this up. M80 are not going to have a lot of second chances, and SRB are just demolishing them on this offense.
Yeah, Shopify are starting to run away with it a little bit. You know, a lot of that kind of weird, awkward gapping that we saw from Shopify, where there's a player not checking this corner, or they're a little bit too far ahead of the utility. It feels like that is slowly being pulled in together. They're crossing their T's, dotting their I's, and just playing this extremely smart, making sure that these clutch moments are not gifted to M80. Because especially too, against a player like Okeanos, up against a player like B-Dog, if you show them some of those smaller mistakes, suddenly the round can completely turn on its head. And we've seen, honestly, M80 turn things around before. So Sato gets that kill onto BCJ. We'll keep this operator into the next round. And Jen, I'm excited to see what Sato wants to do with this operator, because the Neon's mobility means that this thing can really frag out, and there are easily escape options available to Sato to just dip out. Also, they've got 5 ultimates, so this could be potentially a pretty good M80 round.
Yeah, I like to call it the Satop, or I really want to go with that because he's just so deadly on it. Like, he'll get multi-kills. It's not just the one and done. Sato will re-peek you.
Yeah.
But he also got tunneled on just looking down B in the past. SRB have a lot of eyes that could challenge this and deny the op. Sato could try to also slip back into safety. SRB have been good at punishing the Neon in the past. The Rolling Thunder at the ready for Caillou. Ready for contact. Rolling Thunder, but Sato was only good for 1. And M80 converge on all sides. B-Dog with 2. Caillou as well. And SRB walk right into the trap of M80. You needed to see that timeout. Build up some good ideas for M80. They still have a long ways to go to catch up against SRB.
Yeah, once again, I mean, just if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. M80 played that one perfectly. Just had the Rolling Thunder ready to go from Caillou. As soon as Sato makes contact, the Rolling Thunder rips and roars, allowing for the rest of the M80 squad to go in. You see B-Dog just pop out of garage. Everyone's focused on trying to take out Sato, trying to take out Caillou, and that allows B-Dog to just rip and tear with a stinger in hand out of all weapons. And so the thrifty round goes towards M80, and they're able to keep that operator just off of a couple ultimates there. They make sure that that one works out. I think we actually saw the overdrive pop as well. A little bit of tight timing there, but all things considered, great stuff coming out from M80. They're definitely not out of this one just quite yet.
Even the paranoia too from B-Dog. This was just knowing that all of SRB were there. M80 are built differently. It's a lot of work to do. SRB have to go through the obstacle course, but the trips won't stand in Paint's path. And hello there, Omen. But Bao just gets 2? How does he creep up into the site? No util, just vibes. And SRB get caught with their pants down. This looked like such a more stable setup from SRB. What the heck happened in the comms? And M80 could very well catch up now because of this.
It's an excellent esports slogan, by the way. No util, just vibes.
Right?
And once again, it's those weird gaps that we're seeing. You see M80 really respect it, and most of the players just back off there. And yet Bao just decides to stick things down, and they catch Shopify Rebellion off guard. the look of just confusion that Pate had when spotting out the Cypher just kind of playing up front. And then on top of that too, you have the From the Shadows from Spaz to take that additional space, provide that additional support, and it just gets completely negated by Bao. So excellent job from M80 on really just standing their ground. The spike goes down. This is going to be a 1v3 opportunity for Pancakes, but this is going to be a very tough gen.
With all that he has to watch and one tripwire. Already one exposed. The Omen there as well. And the recon doesn't catch him. Pancakes with the pop out. The timing is good. The defuse gets halfway. Pancakes could clutch this 1v3. And Sato just does too much with the shorty. But still an M80 win.
And that was a little bit too close for comfort. I talk about M80 being the ones who can just kind of like clutch things up, but Pancakes made a real good run for it. A 1v3 scenario, finds two, almost finds the third as well. Sato smartly goes for the slide instead and just uses the shorty to make sure that that kill is confirmed. But M80 now 2 rounds away from tying things up. Shopify Rebellion, they will be taking their time out here because M80, it feels like, you know, they were feeling a little rough at first, but they're starting to get back into the groove. And we're seeing these players have a bit more of pop-off, honestly, opportunities that they're willing to capitalize on and swing the man advantage for their favor.
It's going to be the adjustments of M80's defense and these tripwires, how precise they need to be at C, and maybe just needing to be a bit more forward into the site so you can get an earlier opportunity to catch this Neon and the rest. Because as soon as SRB get established, it's really hard to take them out. But this is also a 2-round win streak for M80 with Neural Theft and Hunter's Fury. A lot of good retake tools with an overdrive from Paint. How can you fully activate him? I look at the traps or the trips again from Bao. He's got one in Garage, all centered around that thinking. SRB have prioritized that when they go towards C. In the past, Bao has hung out in the Nook, but he's going to stick onto the site and fall back to a safer position.
Very early salvos. Trying to see if there's anybody there, force them away from some of that positioning. Thankfully, it is only on a cooldown, so that one will be back as Sato takes that operator all the way over to this B site. The Flood, though, very heavily in onto A. It feels like Caillou is aware of something going on. B-Dog taking point.
It's all up to him. The fault line timing is good. Pancakes unaffected, but the rest of SRB open their eyes to the danger in front of them. Well, look how quick M80 are to support Okeanos. He's got a shock bolt. He buys some time. The neon walls allow SRB to get close with the shotties. And it's a bloodbath that M80 go toe for toe for. Bao in a 1v2 on the retake. Neural Theft, no corpse in sight though. As the plank goes through, Bao thinks he has a window. They haven't set up to look at the back door. Bao has cleared the corner. Oh, and just went for the back corner instead of a hell look. He will pay the price. SRB, a match point and 1 round away from series point in our grand final.
And SRB, like, they were looking the wrong way, but I actually think that that was the right way for them to expect the Cypher to go through. We know that Bao is so good at being that flank, and that so Shopify Rebellion were like, hey, there's a good chance that the Cypher all the way in our spawn. Let's just watch that way forwards. And unfortunately, Bao just isn't looking the right way, allowing BCJ to find that final kill. And it's so frustrating too, because the trap was expertly put together from M80 there. They were ready to just pounce on them, and yet still could not just make it happen. Of course, do a lot of shorties in a lot of close range there, as the numbers definitely work out for Shopify Rebellion. At this point, they're looking to send this to map number 4 and claim their second map over M80.
Very different look to the 13-2 result that went in favor of SRB the last time they clashed on this very map. M80 turned around the last loss. SRB got the last laugh in overtime. And it's SRB with the full setup and an Omen teleport from B-Dog, who's gonna stake it somehow, and he's in the corner. And he gets a stun from his teammate. and really disrupts the game plan for SRB, delays the plant, but won't stop it. Sato thinks he has timing, rounds the corner, catches paint, 1v1, and Monty clutches it again for SRB!
Oh man, Sato with the slide through. Was hoping to probably gamble around. You have no idea where that final agent could be. You think it's going to be on the back line. Not necessarily going to be the case. And that is Shopify Rebellion. Really, once again, everything is slowly coming a little bit more cohesively together. You can tell the util is being played properly. Now they're looking for holes in how M80 are going on them. They're stopping M80 from getting the jump on them and dictating the pace of the fight. Shopify Rebellion are doing a good job at keeping M80 under control as they win out their second map, making our series 2-1.
To get back into the IGL seat after being sick yesterday, and the team still pulled off a win without him, to winning such a critical overtime round previously to deny the M80 win, to clutching the 1v1 there. Monsi is turning it all around, and we could not be happier to see him alive and well, both in and out of games. So we have SRB on series point. We got to hear from the desk, so we'll see you soon.
It's not to call, and like it's nice to have the knowledge but not have like the whole job of doing it.
He's only 18.
Paint's turn to let the overdrive go, and it's like watching a stallion run in an open field. What are you back towards A-Link? He'll beat on you. Fine.
You know, BCJ, he's very vocal. He's our code. You know, and Motsi's our IGL. Honestly, everyone has their own role. Like, my job is to relay information and be a turret.
Damn, I'm not gonna lie, I would not know at all. So I'm trying to think, I probably can remember like Bowie, Brock, me, that's it, like I don't know anyone else, so I'll probably guess 8.
Bro. Okay. And this is an NA Challengers, correct? I have 2 right now. I know there's B-Dog, there's Brock, Bob, that's 3. Oh, my old teammate Bao, that's 4. It's kind of hard. BCJ, oh dude, if I forgot BCJ, that would have been bad. Boy, I think that's 6. I don't know if I said 5 or 6. Did I say all of them, or am I tripping? Oh wait, yeah, okay, you didn't ask me to name all of them. Wait, I'm brain dead. I'll say 7. Is that fine?
Yeah, 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, let's do this. This is proper. So first team, rankers. Ion Fire, and Spot will be there. Gangster, no still M80, Bow, and then it's not Academy, T-Dog. I would say it's probably no 6. I'd say 6. If I want to do everything with the 60 teams, I would say 6.
Can I take some time to think here? Is that okay? Or yeah, okay. Starting with the letter B. You said 6, 9, 7, I would say.
Okay, like I'm missing so much plays, okay. Oh, there's Benji as well, folks. Yeah. Okay, I didn't mention Bowie, but I do know, yeah, he's on Hakikimori. I was right, I forgot to play. That wasn't too bad. I completely forgot about Benji and Bonnie, I'm not gonna lie. Sorry to those guys.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. B-Dog, I forgot about him on M80, right? Well, I guess the Bs are not the best in the league right now. B-Dog, BCJ, sure, but...
9. I can't even think of it.